might start seeing like people already joining.
All right, everybody. Thank you and welcome back to Syndicate Nation's Significant Situations. We are here with Tayeshawn, Cunningham-Pemberton, and Lydell Pemberton. LP, thank you for coming again. Another multiple time guest for us. Your episode did very well for us when you were here. Congratulations, Taysean. You see, they both have their Quinnipiac gear on. Taysean has just transferred up to Quinnipiac University to play Division One basketball, and he is going. He's been working out already. He's been with the school, with the team already. So getting acclimated. They've been doing a lot of team chemistry stuff, and it helps. They're already a successful team, and them being able to bond in the off season just is gonna help them immensely. LP's been talking to me about it a lot. Um, Thank you for just sharing all this stuff with me because I'm raising kids myself, and then obviously I coach kids, train kids too. So just being able to see the process and see how you talk to Tay and how you guys work through the process, it helps us and it helps the community. So we want to make sure everybody can see your guys' process and how it worked out for you guys and how you guys get through the tough situations because everybody has tough situations. Nobody's road is just clear cut. So thank you guys for coming. Um, do you guys have any shout outs to start? Start with shout outs and then we'll do a little bit of intros and bios after.
I mean, he's here with me, but obviously my mom, my dad, brother, and sister, of course.
Yeah, shout out to the family. Shout out to NL and the community. Everybody who supported and has been following and just kind of just showing love along the way. We appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for myself, definitely want to shout out LP and Mrs. Pemberton. I greatly appreciate you guys. LP, I see you in the school almost every day. I see you, the way you deal with the kids. You help the kids out, but also your administration. So you help out the school, your strength and conditioning. You're helping out the football team. So even while your kids are out at their respective schools doing their thing, you're still here helping out our community. So we appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
And then to your wife, she has been helping me and a whole bunch of other people. She works in HR for New London Public Schools. She has been helping me and many other people get certifications. So I'm getting my certification for being a teacher, and she's helped me use my experience to be able to go back and get my certification without needing too much extra schooling. So that's greatly appreciated, and the countless amount of other people that you're doing it for, I know they appreciate you as well. So shout out you as well, Miss Christine Pemberton. Thank you so much for all you do for our community. Again, both you guys have kids in school and doing more than well, and you guys still are submerged in our communities. You talking to you about how late she was at a board of ed meeting one day, and again, that is still something that is outside of what she needs to be doing, but she's doing it because she's an asset to our community. So thank you guys so much. Real quick shout out and quick birthday shout out to Mr. Paul Winston. Mr. Paul Winston, happy birthday. He's the assistant athletic director for New London Public Schools, and he's a godfather of my kids. I'm the godfather of his kids, but he's just a person that leads by example and has a great calmness to him and is great with talking to kids, great with talking to adults, and he's honestly usually that middleman person to be able to connect to people when there's a disagreement or something. And real quick, we just got to go to a quick intermission. Something happened with the camera. All right, y'all. Real quick, I might have to get up a couple times to fix that. Good brother Coop, our tech guy, is not here, so the thing might go out a little bit. But um
assumption coaches will say. Who's watching it?
All right, welcome back, y'all. Thank you for the patience. Really appreciate the patience. Again, Coop is out in Virginia for his birthday. The camera, the charger for the camera is the same charger for his laptop, so he's just got the strong charger. We got another charger coming on the way. But back to what we were talking about. Um, just want to say that was my thank you to you guys. Appreciate you guys. You and your wife so much. Shout out to Paul again for his birthday. And let's get right into this. Tayeshawn, you've been playing basketball for a very long time, but also you've been very good academically. You had to stop playing football because your family wanted to keep you safe because of concussions. Um, can you talk about that a little bit? How would you still be playing football right now?
Well, all right. So first, I mean, at the time that I had to stop playing, obviously, me as a kid, I didn't want to stop playing, and football was like everything to me. I really love football. And if I was able to keep playing, I do think I'd still be playing right now. But obviously, they've lived a longer life than me. They've seen what like brain damage can do to people and stuff like that. So obviously, they made that educated call to remove me from that and put me in this situation now. So God does everything for a reason. So
Yes. Do you still like football to this day? You still watch football?
I watch it a little bit.
You get an itch at all to play football at all ever?
If I'm at a game in person, I'm always like like if I just got one more game, like every time I go to a game in person. So, but I don't watch it a whole bunch. I go to college games that well, if I'm out of college and there's a game, I'll go.
Okay.
I don't watch the NFL a whole bunch. I do a little bit, but yeah, when I'm at the game in person, I'm definitely like, yeah, I want to play again.
I feel that. Can you just speak on? Oh well, so we talked about that a little bit. Just to continue on, you were at New London High School after. You spent a couple years at New London High School. You were going through COVID there at New London High School, and then I actually let's stop there. Let's stop there. We're gonna. You went through COVID at New London High School, and you came out a completely different person. Um, can we talk about that a little bit? Because obviously after COVID, you go on to St. George's. You're the number one player in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
You play for Expressions. You play Nike EYBL. You end up earning Division I scholarships, and then because of COVID, and then people getting extra years, you ended up going to Assumption. And once you go to Assumption, now you're at Quinnipiac.
Mm.
How?
So to start, like you said, I did 3 years at New London. COVID, COVID first. When we first heard about COVID, it was playoffs. It was conference playoffs. Actually, no, it was state playoffs. We lost in the first round anyway. After that, that's when everybody heard about COVID. Everything kind of got shut down. And then going into junior year, I didn't even go to school in person for the first semester. Obviously, just trying to stay healthy away from COVID. And then they were like, if you're going to be playing basketball, you got to come to school in person. So that's what I did. It wasn't that well. There was no fans. And there wasn't really a whole bunch of gyms that you could really get into. So we did what we could from the house, and it was lifting every day, just to get my body right. And I probably put on 15 pounds, something close to that, in about 2 to 3 months. And so that's what really transformed my body during COVID. Um, but yeah, that that led me um that led me into being more uh that led me into me being more like growing into my body more. I was able to develop more muscle and stuff like that. So kind of be under more control on the court and things like that. So that kind of helped. And then I was able to still have an AAU season after that year, and I ended up at St. George's. And so it was still a little COVID during then as well. I missed my first couple games because my roommate ended up getting COVID, stuff like that. And then after that, I kind of just I had a good season junior year. That was I got a lot of work, a lot of good players at St. George's was in the gym with me, so I was able to get good work every day. And then obviously Pina, he was a college coach, and then came down to St. George's, so I was getting college coaching, college work already. So that and that built my confidence as well. I was playing against good players throughout Double A NEPSAC. Um, some guys that are in the NBA now, like Kyle Flipkowski, Kurt Tang, who's at Michigan State, like dudes like that I was playing against, and I'm getting off. So I'm like, all right, like my game's really growing. I ended up I played EYBL after that year, or yeah, during that junior year I played EYBL. Um, Team was stacked that year. Modest, Taylor, Gavin, Daryl, all these guys. Adrian, he's at Brown. Like a lot of guys on that team. And that gave me not a different perspective, but that allowed me to see that yeah, like in New London at St. George's, yeah, I could be the best player, but like going to EYBL, you see that there's still dudes that are ahead of you. So that made me just want to chase more, and keep getting better and better. Like you said, I ended up going to Assumption, um, and I was going to redshirt my freshman year. That was the plan that we had with the coaches. We're going to redshirt. I had a pretty good fall before the season, and we decided to not redshirt. The coaches felt like I could make impact on the team during that year. I did. I did end up playing. I was probably six man. I started one game, um, and I was kind of an all around player. I found my way onto the court by rebounding and playing defense, and then when I had my time to get a bucket, I go get a bucket. But I wasn't the dude that was playing with the ball in his hand for majority of the game.
Low shot attempts, but still very efficient.
Yeah, and that I think that I don't think guys that are going into college, everybody wants to play. And yeah, I wanted to play as well, but once I found out that there was other ways that I could get myself onto the court, I think that built that that allowed me to be like, all right, this is what I'm good at right now. And then that carried into the next year where scoring was my main role, but being able to have the defense and rebound and all that stuff still from the year prior, like that made my game more complete. Um, and so I think that really helped going into my
Question, real
sophomore
quick:
year.
do you think that you play as much if you don't do the extra? Because everybody wants to score and everybody wants to be the scorer. Do you think that you play as a freshman? Do you think you get called up from redshirting if you're not rebounding, if you're not playing defense, if you're not being able to be a swing guy when need be and go get a bucket when you need to?
Yeah, so I mean, my like a I don't think so. I don't think so. It's hard because if you're not a go get a bucket every play type person, then it's hard to get yourself on the court. And that we don't need a guy that can go get a bucket here and there, but's not really doing anything else for us. So for guys that have already established their role as a scorer in college, the coaches would rather take a chance on them to score rather than somebody that hasn't been in that or hasn't had that experience in a college play already. So yeah, I think defense and diving on the floor and grabbing rebounds or even like taking charges, stuff like that. Like that's energy. Like that's energy for the team. And so even doing small things like that, yeah, I think that's definitely like that's what gets you on the court. And if you're not doing that, then it's a slim chance that you probably will at that early in your college career.
Uh, can you talk about the 1% of basketball players? Div- Division 1 basketball players are 1% of basketball players. Division 2 basketball players are 1% of basketball players, and Division 3 basketball players are 3% of basketball players.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that 1%, the Division 2 and the Division 1? Um, you played with people that are in the NBA right now. You've played with and against AJ DeBonster. You've played with different people at these statues, Division 1 schools, NBA, overseas.
Mhm.
What is the difference in Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3? Real quick, we'll be right back. Told y'all we got the quick intermissions. Be a little bit extra intermissions because of the charger, but we have a faster charger on the way. Roll back. We'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, we're back from intermission. Thank you for bearing with us, guys. Uh, Again, we're back here with Tayeshawn Cunningham-Pemberton and Mr. Lydell Pemberton. Back to what we were talking about. Can you talk about prep school a little bit and your decision to go to prep school?
Yeah, so like I said, it was COVID. Um, my junior year of high school was COVID. That was when COVID was like at its peak, I guess you could say. Um, and the year prior, we actually planned to transfer to St. George's, um, and that was the only school that we were even interested in. And it didn't end up working out for us. And so I went back to New London for my junior year, and that was like the real COVID year. And again, we put all our eggs in the St. George's basket, and that was the transition that we made.
That was tough to do too, because
Yeah.
the original conversation to go prep, the coach there had came and visited. Right, he watched him play at New London for a few games, and we played in Rhode Island too. Where we played in
Oh,
Rhode Island,
no, no, no. We didn't play right. We played in Massachusetts at
New Bedford.
New Bedford.
So,
He's from New
so
Bedford.
he's from New Bedford. So he came to the game in New Bedford, and he had come to a few New London high school games. So we put all our stock in that. Right, we was not trying to do nothing different. We didn't apply to any other schools at that point. We knew that we were trying to move on. And just one side note on that, he was playing for Expressions at that time, and they was putting a little pressure on, right? Because the whole team had reclass.
Yeah, I was a young one.
And
So.
we knew that he was a candidate for reclass anyway because of his age. He was always the youngest in his class, with the exception of Pedro. Pedro was a little younger than me, I think.
Pedro's a couple
October.
months.
He's August. Pedro's October.
Yeah.
So we was like already considering it being a candidate for that, because we're like, all right, academically he's gonna be all right? But age-wise, it'll put him in a class where it makes sense that he's playing with guys his age. And people will say, "You're gonna reclass your kid for basketball?" Well, we looked at a third, right? A third of his life is family, third of his life is, the academic piece, and then the basketball. So it plays such a big part of his life that that kind of decision was respectable for us to make. The fact that football was out the picture, but yeah, to go to St. George's was one egg in a basket type deal, and it didn't work out. So the next year we had talk, and I talked to my man, Coach Pina. I was like, he's like, "Oh, it's gonna work out this time. Just stick with us." And so again, we didn't apply to any schools. We had some on our radar, but we didn't apply to other schools, and it ended up working out for us.
So why didn't it work out the first time, and what were the feelings behind that, and why were you guys so confident to go back to St. George's?
Yeah, you know more about that.
Yeah, so what happened was the basketball team had won the ISL the year before. They had Tyler Kolek, the point guard from the Knicks. He was on the team. Tay was supposed to come in and be his replacement, right? But what happened was they had so much success that football didn't. Tay was not going to pay at school. We weren't paying for him to go to school. And like, I don't know if they want to know, want to tell the story, but reality was we wasn't paying to go to prep school. It's a lot of money. I don't know, parents that go to prep schools, they know it's deep pockets, right? We weren't in that situation where we wanted to pay that kind of money. So it worked out where he was going to be a scholarship player. They had an elite position for junior transfers. They call it the coveted recruit. But that sophomore year, because football didn't do well, they pulled that scholarship he would have got and gave it to a football player.
Yeah.
So and it was last minute, like when the decisions come out, we got the call, and the coach was like, "Yeah, we're sorry." It was like, "Whoa." Okay, so we were shocked. We definitely expected that.
Yeah, honestly, that was like similar to Chris. Chris was out here. Obviously, he was could have went to prep school out in Massachusetts, and honestly, a lot of people thought he was leaving for his senior year to go to prep school out in Massachusetts, and Andre goes straight to college, and Chris ends up staying. And his dad's just like, "Yo, if he's getting a scholarship, what am I sending him to pay for prep school for?"
Yeah.
And that it's clear as day. It makes sense.
We weren't in that situation yet. Clearly, he was still developing and growing as a player. Again, he was playing with Expressions, which was a higher level for him. But even at 14, when he got on in Expressions, which respect to Expressions, because the truth of the matter is like you don't just stay on those rosters, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta earn it. You gotta keep yourself there.
They will remove players during
the session.
You fly
like,
back.
You go
and
home.
If you didn't play well, it's like, well, you're done. And we'll bring in some more dudes. Like they're about the dub. Nike don't play around. We need Nike's money, so we got to go win. So he was able to rock out, but it did affect him. It affected him to where his sophomore year, after sophomore year was it that you played Premier
I played Premier.
sophomore year?
No,
Yes, because
junior
junior
year.
year. No,
Because I remember I had the low cut. I cut my hair during COVID.
think about it. Your last year playing EYBL was your junior year. You can't play after your junior year.
My second junior year.
So you played
My
ninth
first junior
grade.
year, I played Premier. When I left New London.
You did. You're right. So he
Yeah.
played Premier partly because he didn't get the reclass, right? So yeah, you're right. I think you're right there, right? So it was your freshman year.
Because then I'd have been on the same team with Daryl and all those dudes before. I'd have been on 16s.
You would have been on 16s, and
I
you
would've
didn't
been
play
with- it would've
16s.
been
So he didn't
me.
play 16s. They ended up putting him on the Premier. So they have a secondary program really for elite players, but they
For
only have so many
growing.
roster spots. They don't want to lose those players to another shoe organization, so they created like another team, Premier, where you have an opportunity to go play. Still, you're
That's
not
the
playing
thing.
during the EYBL sessions, but you're playing elite talent.
We were
still.
playing against URBL teams still.
Playing URBL
When
teams.
it wasn't the live periods or sessions, the same tournaments that the URBL tournaments teams were going to, we were going to, and we were playing against those teams as
Same
well.
teams.
So it wasn't. I mean, it was a different team, but we were playing against the same players.
So, how did Nike EYBL work out for you? Do you feel like it helped you gain recognition?
Recognition. I think obviously just being on the roster, like it's like, all right, if you're on that roster, then like you can hoop. In terms of like recruitment,
Yeah,
not
that's what I mean. Not so much like recognition from everybody, but just like
Yeah.
more the people you want to see you, the college coaches.
in terms of recruitment, I don't think it was a huge like recognition thing. Just because, like I said, the team that we had was stacked. We had a few four 5 stars.
Yeah, there was
four
like
top
There was
100s.
like four. There was 3 top 30s and four altogether 4 top 100s on the same roster.
Yeah, and then Daryl, who wasn't ranked, which is now at Villanova, was the point guard as well. So like that team was stacked, and so
And then you now at
And-
QP.
And then for him,
Yeah, exactly.
though, to be a combo, you had him fighting for minutes with Daryl. You also had Modest, who was playing like the
the two at 6'10".
who
At
didn't go to
6'10".
college, who goes to the G League and straight to the NBA. That's who
Straight
he
to the NBA.
played, right? He's sharing minutes with so-called sharing minutes.
Yeah,
with,
right.
right. So that was the challenge. And we had some conversations, right? We could have left and went to another shoe program.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel right, so we didn't make the move. And we banked on him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he even said, "Oh, I just need a 5-minute spurt."
Yeah.
Right situation. I can get that offer. So
And there definitely was some games that I got more minutes than others. For the most part, I didn't get a whole lot of tick on URBL. But the games that I did, I was able to really get off. Like they allowed me to go and just play.
And did you getting off during those games get you any looks?
So, from what I think, I was never told this, but there was one session we played Boo Williams, and they had 2 top 100 guards, Jalen Curry, Trey Parker. We beat them. I played a bunch that game. I had a good game. A little after that is I was at St. George's, and I had a workout, and the Lehigh coach wanted to fly out and come watch, and we had to sit down after that workout with the head coach and my parents, and he offered me right there. And that was a little after that session that I played in that one game. So that I was like anything, like any small amount of time that you get, like, and you show any type of spurts that you can hoop, like they're there watching that, and they're not just looking for the dudes that are 20 points a game,
Because
15 points a game.
Because there's more schools than kids playing at that. Like
Exactly.
there's more Division I schools than kids just playing in that one session. So if
Yeah.
there's 20 kids playing on the court right now, it's just like, okay, there's this many schools. If there's this many schools here, there's got to be. I need to find a gem.
Yeah.
I need to find a diamond in the rough.
all the top 25 ranked schools, let's say even top 50, they don't all think they're going to get a top 100.
Yeah.
They know it's not realistic. Like for example, when he
Numbers
was
wise.
at St. George's, actually before he touched campus at St. George's, he played in the knapsack. So that's. Oh, you played on a combined team. Who was that?
What?
Lawrence Academy.
What?
when you went to NEPSAC.
Yeah, that was the combined team.
Combined. So yeah, so when he went to NEPSAC once before he even touched campus at St. George's, he got to play in NEPSAC over the summer.
The NEPSAC summer tournament.
They didn't even have a full roster yet, and so he played on a combined roster with Lawrence Academy. But he played well, and in NEPSAC, everybody's getting light because every coach in the country is
every coach is at the end of the court.
Every coach,
they probably had.
We had
65, 70 seats just lined up, rows.
Was in there. Dwight Howard, Juwan Howard was in there. Like the gym was like loaded with all the top coaches in the country. Carolina's staff was in there. Marquette's staff, everybody was in there. And so all you got to do is just go put on, and you can get either the interest or an offer right at the NEPSAC. So at that NEPSAC is really when he gained a lot of his attention because Adam Finkelstein, who's the ESPN writer, saw him and did an article, and right after that, he was named #1 player in Rhode Island. Right after that, before he even stepped campus on St. George's. So that shed a lot of light. So that helped him. That helped a lot.
That's tough. How was that process for you? Like being recruited around like that and being the #1 player in Rhode Island. Like the NEPSAC is a very one exclusive place. Obviously, you got to have the prep schools going there. So how was that process for you?
I mean, when I got named #1, when I saw that, I was like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only played in like one short, like, not tournament, but like one event, you know? And I was like, oh, all right, like that's like, it became more real to me, like about like college hoops and stuff like that. That it became more real to me then because it was like, all right, like I'm getting some like actual recognition now, like some real recognition. And it was also like now I gotta make sure I'm always on point because now everybody does know you're #1. So now I was like, when I see him play, like I want to see that he's #1. I don't want to see he had a bad game. Nah, that's the only game I've seen him play. So you know what I'm saying. So it was like make sure you're always on point. And that's the same thing like with even playing at UIBL. It was like you're on an UIBL team, like I better see that you're nice every time that you're playing type thing.
You did show that too though, bro. No matter if you playing in the Osgood, no matter what tournaments you playing in, somebody got a highlight tape of you wilding, bro. I was up there looking up for like promotional videos yesterday, and I was just scrolling and just finding different people making videos of you even outside of your teams that you're playing on.
Yeah.
So you just go and playing in like the again like the Osgood, any like pro-ams or anything. Like you have highlights and people love to highlight you. So you got to be doing something right.
So I used to have to talk to him because he's young, but he just when you play the game a lot, you just play, right? You're playing. But I would have to tell him like you're still building your name. So when you go to these showcases and stuff, I know it's kind of like an NBA All-Star game, right? You don't really get serious until the end. Guys are just messing around. I said, don't be in there just clowning around. Like, go kill everything because you're building your reputation right now. And if guys see you playing nonchalant and they're like, they can't really capture how good you really are, there's always going to be questions about, oh, is he really that guy? I was like, go kill. Somebody's under the rim, put him in the rim. Like, go get you. And I would have to talk to him like, don't be comfortable. So I don't care what these other guys are doing. They already got the offers. They're already there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go kill from the start when you walk in the gym. And so he did that, man. He just earned a little nickname.
Yeah, Easy 30.
That was the pro am.
Those talks definitely like at the time I was just like, all right, like I'm like I knew what he was saying was right. But in my head I was like, all right, like I'm about to be the only one out here try hard and like they're about to be like, he's beasting. Like,
please talk about that real quick. Oh my gosh, the word try hard.
Yeah.
And I know you probably had to. I know you hear it a lot and stuff, but I know that your dad talks you into being a try hard, and it's necessary. How do you feel about the word try hard, and do you feel like you're a try hard? Because some kids don't feel like it's cool to be a try hard, and they feel like they can get to where they want to be without being a try hard or without trying hard.
No. Before I used to be like, I'm hooping, I'm having fun, and he used to be like, like you said, like these other dudes already got offers, and those are the type of people that I was around all the time. So it wasn't like, all right, like I'm just chilling. I'm around New London. I'm playing with friends. Like I could just chill, whatever. Like I was doing that like around other players, and yeah, like I was still scoring, and yeah, I was still playing good. But like you said, being a tryhard allows you to show off like your actual skills. So like even to the point where like I'd be playing 1-on-1 in the driveway with my brother, and he'd be like, "Yo, like
What are you doing?
if you could dunk the ball on the 7-foot rim, why try hard? Be a try hard." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, like we're playing on the 7-foot rim, but like as I've grown older, like I started to understand like when you are a so-called try hard, like once you do it so much, like it just becomes you, and like I think that shows like for me with defense, like I don't really like. I'm gonna try hard on defense all the time, and that carries over into the rest of my game. Even if it's just like pick up, like I'm about to play. I'm not about to get scored on. Exactly. Like I never want to be the person that's like, all right, we're chilling around. It's like, yeah, like I gave him buckets. Like I don't. There's not many people that can really say that about me, and like that comes from being a tryhard on defense. So like being a tryhard is not like goofy or corny. Like I used to think that, but it's not.
Here's
It's
the
not.
other thing, though, right? At some point, the ball stops bouncing, whether it's, God forbid, it be an injury or you just get too old to play. Like, if you're going to play this game, like, play it to your full ability. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if the guy on the other side of you is not as good. I used to tell him, I don't care if you're playing against a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
He stepped on the court. I wasn't trying to let them win when they was little. I'd have them go in the house crying, I'm bodying you. Why? Because I don't know how much longer I can be able to do this. To the point now where what am I wasting my time getting in the court with him right now? To get embarrassed? To get put in the rim? My time is up. But while I got the advantage, I'm giving it to you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to play this game, recognize you only got so long, right? If you can play competitively, so-called competitively until you're 30, a few people get to play until they're 35 before your body starts saying, no, you're not doing it no more. Go and play the game to a high level.
Yeah.
Like, and if you only get better when you stretch your skills anyway, though. When you play comfortable, you're limiting your ability to grow. Every aspect of life, growth comes from challenge, right? Challenge yourself to be better. We used to talk about ball handling. I said, if you're not losing the ball, you're not trying hard enough.
I tell
Right?
players that all
Practice
the
is the
time.
time to lose the ball because you're improving yourself, you're gaining the skills, and in the game, you'll be able to speed the game up by using these skills because you worked harder to play faster and play more assertive. It translates into, again, you can't just turn the light switch on during the game. It doesn't work that way.
That is
So you're going to play like you practice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
the same way.
That's what I was
So
No, that-
that's where try hard comes from. Just go be great every time you touch the court.
Yeah, and you never have to turn it on and off.
For sure.
Because turning it on and off, shoot, everybody thinks that like their bodies work like a light switch or their skills work like a light
doesn't.
switch. Yeah, no. Even obviously the greatest NBA players are shooting every day, taking care of their bodies every day, and being consistent. So, shoot, everybody should. If that's where you want to be, that's what you got to do. And you guys are exemplifying that. We love that. Quick question for Nebsack. What what schools get to play at the NEPSAC? Is there certain divisions or all prep schools get to play at the NEPSAC? How does that work?
in the summer, in that summer event that he was talking about, I think I think it's all the classes
think it's
play
all
B,
classes.
A, double A, triple A. Like I think they all play. There was different days. Like I think triple A played later into the day.
You're not crossing over. You're not playing. Like,
Yeah, like you're not
a B-level team not playing. Timor. You're not. That's not.
Yeah,
They match you up with like teams in your
in your range.
whether it's your level.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Work. Yeah, that's good. That's just a good question for the public because people might think that if you're like a blesser, you might not go to the NEPSAC, but just like certain like high level AU tournaments, the coaches or like the higher level coaches are gonna go to the higher level NEPSAC.
Yeah, but I mean,
the higher level prep schools.
But even in the NEPSAC, they're like the coaches are looking at all of them. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have the Duke staff in there watching the B-level teams,
right?
But
Exactly.
there are Division 3, Division 2 coaches in those to try to find that gem. Like that kid probably didn't even know he could be a scholarship level player. I like him a lot, and then they get a name, right? So they're in there. There's no doubt about it. They're in there, and they schedule like it seems like the earlier the games are, it's the lower tier teams.
Yeah.
That midday when all the coaches have flown in already, that's when you got the triple A's and those games when the gyms actually packed. And actually, it's for coaches only. I kind of look coaches, so I was able to slip in there and look like a coach. And I'm standing next to all these guys. You know,
Honestly,
I had no business being in there.
That's
but I was
my
able
new
to
role
slip
for
in there and
AAU
stuff.
tournaments. I ain't paying for no more. I'm sliding in as a coach every
You got
time.
the right gear on. You
Every
walk
time.
in, you look normal. You just walk like you belong there, and you slid in the door. You know.
As he said, like you don't have the high major coaches going there to watch the Class B games, but there are some times that they're in there early and like they may be watching another player who's on a B level team that's a high level player, but you're on the next court and they may see you over there. So there was things like that as well.
And
That's
NetSac
good
is
to
like
know.
a networking time too. Like they all go down to the NCAA tournament coaches around the country, but NetSac's almost a networking time. So sometimes
Yeah.
there's a high major coach who's looking for an assistant that's there recruiting another, and that's their time to meet each other.
Yeah.
And so he can be there talking with a coach that he might be bringing on his staff or trying to, and then he see a kid and like, oh, who's this kid? Next thing you know, you're a conversation piece. You know?
So now, with so many kids being there, is it like a normal thing to go up and like introduce yourself to the different coaches, or do you just wait
Yeah,
for a
I don't
coach to
think-
talk to you because there's so many kids?
At that point, I don't even think they were allowed to go and talk to players. You weren't able to have the conversations with the players. So it was kind of like they were just like dudes were getting offers, like they were getting calls later. I think I'm not sure. I think the live period might have opened a little after that or no, it wasn't
No,
even live period. It wasn't live period.
No,
But
you can
they
get
were
offers,
able to
though.
call and offer you after.
Because one of his partners got like
Yeah,
7 offers that
yeah.
weekend, like back to back to back to back. He went and killed, and they was like, "Yo,
Yeah,
I just
one
got
day,
this,
one
I
game.
just got this school. Yo, we were sitting in the crowd with his dad because his dad
Yeah.
kind of looked coachy too. We were both in there. And he's like, "Yo, Dad, I just got offered by such and such. I just got." And he came up, just kept coming back. The phone was ringing.
Yeah.
But also the thing is at the level you're at, once a school offers you, other schools in that conference are going to say if he can play for them, they can play for us. Now they're going to
They see you one glimpse of you now. Now it's like, oh yeah, he is good. Look, offer. All the schools in the conference offer.
That makes sense. NIL has changed a lot. And it's changed a lot for basketball. It's changed a lot for recruiting. What are some good things that has come out of NIL in your two opinions?
Well, one like that I think everybody thinks about obviously money that you didn't have before. You like you know what I'm saying like your name is out there just like an NBA guy's name is out there, and obviously their name is bigger than yours, and they're making that money because of that. But if people are buying your jerseys or trying to get you NIL opportunities, like you should be compensated for that or recognized for that.
Because it is a brand. You're building a brand.
Exactly. And so with that being said, like I think that if like a lot of people that are playing basketball they want to play in the NBA. So you getting to college and being able to make money like for playing basketball, that's similar to the NBA. And for a lot of guys, it could be like, yeah, I want to go make money and do the thing that I love. So like being able to do that in college, like NIL is perfect for that. In that aspect.
I think the other side of it, right? Obviously, NIL and the money that you can make from it is great, but I also don't. I think it it doesn't limit you to being put in a box as just a basketball player,
Yeah.
right? You get to bring yourself out, right? You get to be yourself, and there's opportunities to maximize your growth and potential because of who you are, whether it's your personality or whether it's how you dress or whether it's how you communicate or whether it's a belief that you have that associates with something. Like you can be you, right? Because it's name, image, and likeness, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about he's a good basketball player, so we're going to cut him a check.
Yeah.
It's his identity, his brand. What is his brand as a person? What are the things that social media is so big now? Like the following he has, like there are different companies that are like, hey, this kid's got 2 million followers. Those could be our customers. Like, how do we compensate him, or whether he's wearing our gear, or whether it's, doing something, being our commercial, how do we connect with him
Yeah.
to maximize his image and obviously help us build our brand as an organization. So it allows you to really be more well-rounded as a person and let the world see who you are, right? When you're a player and because of, let's just go AJ Dybonster, right? BYU, great school. However, I don't think they would have sold out every game if he wasn't on the roster, right? So
Exactly.
how does that help that school grow? Or how do they profit more by him being in the building? So I just think it allows young players who may not ever see the professional ranks. It gives them opportunity to be compensated and be recognized for who they are, not only as a basketball player, but who they are as a person. So I think it's a big scale. It's a big scale.
That makes sense. That's good. We definitely want to make sure we shed positive light on it because um, anytime like young kids are like start to make money, people try to just like police it a little bit. But as long as we get kids education on what to do with their money, I feel like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And especially kids that are earning scholarships that are coming from inner cities that are
For sure.
impoverished,
For sure.
it helps them. It
Absolutely.
helps them, especially if they have the education to go along
For
with
sure.
it.
Yep.
Really quick, what is your why? What is your why to continue to help you work hard and keep playing basketball at a high level? And honestly, being a good person at a high level because you know how to speak to people, you're kind to people, and you're just an all around like person that's striving to be a better person every day. I see it in you. You strive to be a kinder person. You strive to be a person that listens more understanding. Again, I see your growth just like I was talking to Pedro, and I see you guys maturing. I still see you guys maturing. So, yeah.
Yeah. So my why, I mean, it's my parents. Like the amount of time that they've put into me, and like getting me where I need to go or getting me places that I want to go so that I can become better. Like they could have been doing other things. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like for example, like probably I'm 21, probably 12, 13 years out of my life. Like me and him have gone up and down the highway to New York, to Boston, to Pennsylvania, everywhere, Virginia, like every single weekend for years, like a long time. And like there's other things that like he could have been doing. And like even like my mom, like she wasn't at all the tournaments, but like she's checking in after every game. She's checking in during the rides. Like there's other things that they can be doing that they probably wanted to be doing, but like they were able to put that time into me and allow me to grow and do something I wanted to do. So the sacrifice that they've made, like that's my why.
LP, what's your why for your sacrifice?
I think it's my responsibility. Um, I mean, it might sound cliche, but he didn't ask to be in this world,
I say the
right?
same thing all
So
the time.
we owe it to him to put him in the best position to be his best sense of himself, right? Like help him develop the runway to go find a thing that he's passionate about. I think I've always told him, you want to match your gift that God gave you with your work ethic, and you'll end up where you're supposed to be at, right? You can never question where you land at if you do that. Recognize you have a gift, put your best foot forward and effort behind it, and you can never complain about where you're at. Um, the work is the work, right? And unfortunately, not unfortunately, because too much of anything's not a good thing, but unfortunately, there's a lot of sacrifices that go with that. So part of my wife and I is we've had to sacrifice to make sure they have the opportunity to go be great because hopefully they can be better than we were. And when they have kids, their kids are better than they were. And the generations just grow because we keep that in mind. So the small sacrifices, because to me it's small. The small sacrifice to me was to drive them up down the highway, to be at the games. Um, that's easy for me, partly because I enjoy sports, right? But the other side of it is I had the vision to see that if I can keep him doing something constructive, it adds value to his life because team sports, they help you deal with adversity. They help you to deal with other people who aren't like you. They help you to have structure. They help you to have time management. They help you to have, goals, right? That's life. That's what life is going to do for you. So if you can develop these things now and learn how to work hard and separate yourself from the average who are kind of just doing it, then in life you can kind of rise to the top too. That's why there's only so many CEOs and so many head coaches and so many number ones. And it's not all about the competition, but it kind of is about the competition, right? How are you going to compete in this world that we live in and have a quality of life where you feel like it doesn't have to be struggle every day? I can look at the work ethic and I can look at my gifts and put those two things together and I'm going to be okay, right? So I just think that for us, the why was we brought them here and we owe it to them, to one, be a good example for them, and for two, to give them the runway to go be great.
Now I hear that. So quick, we talk a lot about parenting and um just being a team when it comes to parents. Um, and I want to make sure I put like a disclaimer on this because I talked about this with Nick and Amir, and I don't want to make it seem like one is like a duo parent household is better than a single family, a single parent household. I just want to draw the connection to understand how or to get people to understand how hard it is to be a single parent because like you get to have like the relief when you're a dual family household. You get to be able to have the relief of the other parent. You have that other parent to talk to. You're not just talking to kids all day, and you have a teammate, and it's not just you raising kids or just you against the kids. You have a teammate to go about it with. So I just want to draw the connection so that people just give single moms or single dads a little bit of grace, and we can come together as a community to be able to help them out because it's not easy raising kids, and it takes a community to raise kids whether you have one parent or two
For
parents.
sure. Yeah, whether you're a single dad or a single mom, you get all the credit in the world because it's not easy, right? You're having to make all these decisions on your own. And if you have family and friends, that's great. But it's something about in your house that those decisions feel like they're just your decisions. And so you don't necessarily have a playbook to raising kids. You can tell me how you did it, and the next person can tell me how they did it, but it didn't necessarily work out the same way in my house because I did what you said. So stop listening to everybody. You can generate some general ideas, but you're gonna have to go through this thing yourself, right? I think with the two-parent household, obviously you have each other to bounce stuff off, and you have somebody say, "No, I don't think that's the right way," and you guys can both kind of like come to a medium where it's like, I think that might be the right field, and you're still gonna get a whole bunch of stuff wrong. But it's good to have somebody to bounce off. But as a single parent, right, you are taking all that on yourself, and you're having to gauge whether this is the right decision, or am I off base here? And can I trust the person I'm asking for advice, right? Do they have the same investment as us in this household, right? Or they just like to give advice, right? Because everybody got an opinion. But in the household, you're in the same battle, you're in the same fight, and you're not going to always agree with each other either. And sometimes that humbles you because I like to think I know a few things. My wife humbles me, right? And because she brings a whole nother side of things, and I can appreciate that. But I think in terms of like raising kids, I think it's good because there's a balance, right? There's not just one way, and sometimes one way is okay. It may take a little bit longer to get where you'd like to be because you're going to take the wrong turn, and it takes a little longer to get back on the track because you've learned more along the way. Whereas to a partner may be able to like help you self correct quicker because of their thought process or their experiences. So I definitely kudos to the single parents, but I do know that if we do look at the draft, right? I think the first 9 picks were like dual family houses, right? And
I
it goes a
didn't
long
even know
way,
that.
right? I think it's tough. It's tough to be a single parent in this day, but I also think there's something about the nuclear family that brings balance. It just brings balance because you have two different minds playing in that game. So,
I hear that. And Mr. Tay, how's it been having both the parents in the household? I know I had the same growing up, and it was always a wonderful thing. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's definitely great. I mean, like I said, I spent a majority of my time sports wise with my dad. And he like in the household is like in terms of that is like the harder version of like like get up, keep going. Like why like you fall down, get back up. Something's hurting. If it's not an
Put some
injury,
dirt
like
on it.
it's what I'm saying. Like if you're hurting, you could keep playing through. Like if it's a hurt and injury are different. You know what I'm saying? Like whereas on my with my mom, she's more of the softer
The
side with that,
nurturer.
and so having both of those like brings like you said a good medium um to everything that I'm doing. So yeah, that's good.
Good, good. That Quinnipiac. Why Quinnipiac?
So well, one, it's in Connecticut. I'm right home. Parents, friends, all can get up to the game. That's something that's important. I want to see familiar faces while doing the thing that I love to do at the level that I want to do it at. But just the visit that I went on, they made sure I was straight with everything. It seemed like I don't know, the culture there was just like family. Like some people may try to like fake it for you for that day while you're on the visit and stuff like that, and it just didn't feel like that at all. Even with the team, like just chilling with them during the visit, like it didn't seem like they were trying to fake anything to get me there or try to do anything extra to get me there. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they were being themselves and just being around even the people that I didn't know there. Like I was just around like or who had nothing to do with basketball. Like you could just tell like everybody wants to be there. Like some people go to college and it's like yeah I don't like this school for real. Like I'm just you know what I'm saying like
You're there to hoop. You're there to do whatever you
yeah,
want
I'm
to
trying
do.
to get here and get gone. Like it doesn't feel like that there. Everybody is wants to be there. That's what it felt like to me, and that's something that's important for me because I don't want to. Like I'm a people person. Like I like to be around people, and I don't want to be around people that are miserable. That they have to be at this school or they have to be at this place doing this. Like I want to be around people that want to be there, and that makes me want to be there as well. So that's a huge part of why I went there. Obviously, basketball, but other than that, like the culture and people wanting to be there, that family type feeling, that's a huge part.
Yeah, I think for us as a family, we talked about fit, right? The right fit, right field, the right fit. They were our first visit. Once he hit the portal, I think we probably had 15 or so schools that were showing interest, whether it be a follow or whether it be a text or whether it be a phone call that were on him. We also looked at the reality of the portal, right? There's going to be 4 or 5 thousand kids in this portal at some point.
Yeah,
The longer you hang out, likely it's that you're not their priority.
yeah,
If you have to wait a really long time, then you may not be their priority. So you want to go where they want you.
And they only have a certain amount of money too, right?
Yeah,
The
like
schools.
yeah, schools have only have a certain budget, but the reality is that they're gonna chase the guys that they want the most early.
Mm-hmm.
So we can lock him in. We're in good shape,
mm-hmm.
right? The first day that the NCAA allowed for official visits, they had him up.
Mm.
So for us, it told us that he was important to them. They could have picked a ton of kids to come visit first because they wanted him, but it told us that they really wanted him there for us. And then other than that, they just really rolled out the red carpet for us. The visit felt like you said, it felt like home. They handled business the right way. Um, just the little details though, like from like showing his film sessions and of their players, and then show a clip of him doing the same thing
Identical.
to show him how he fits in their system. Like stuff like that lets you know
That's
that it was
smooth.
personalized. It wasn't just a general visit. They introduce us to a lot of the key staff, people that he's going to be interacting with on a regular basis. And like you said, it just felt like home. It felt right. We literally chose not to go, and we had visits lined up like
Yeah,
back to back days, and we literally chose to not go to those visits. It was just the right fit, and we made a decision that evening. And the next morning at breakfast, we let them know that this is where he wanted to be at. So
another thing is like you said, fit. I didn't want to just transfer up to some Division One school just to say that I played Division One basketball.
Mm.
Quinnipiac has won two out of the last three conference championships.
That's big. And you're coming from a team that was making the Elite Eight and doing all this stuff.
Exactly. And so I wanted to be somebody that can make a an immediate impact on an NCAA run, on a conference championship. Like I wasn't just leaving just to say that I could go play Division 1. Like so, being able to go somewhere where I could make an immediate impact to a program where they are not just because they're one of the best teams, but like obviously you want to go somewhere that like
winning
I like to be
culture.
a winner exactly.
Mhm.
So, like you said, winning culture is another big part of that.
No, that's good. What's next? What do you? I know it's a little bit early, but what are your plans for the future? Do you want to? You trying to push to go pro? Do you want to start a different career after college? What are you thinking? Or do you just not know yet? That's okay too. It's still early. You're still going through and trying to figure out your next year.
Yeah. So pro is always the goal. Whether it's the NBA or overseas. Some guys may not want to go overseas and live in another country and play basketball just because, like you said, you're in another country, you don't know anybody over there, speaking a different language.
People
Like
talk
the
about the
only thing you know,
food.
exactly, the only thing that you have in common with somebody else is the dude on your team that plays basketball, and he may not even speak English either. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's definitely something that I want to do. Um, and if I get there and it's like, dang, like this is a really big impact on me, where it's like I don't know if I could like keep doing this, then like obviously I'm gonna have a plan because obviously the ball stops bouncing at some point, so you always have to have that plan. But my plan A is to play as long as I can.
Respect it.
Yeah.
Number one pick in the draft this year, AJ DeBonsta. How was it playing against him? And did you play with him as well, or just against him? I saw a picture of you online on the same court as him, and you guys on opposite teams. But did you play with him as well, or just against him?
So we didn't play any actual like structured games together, but we were in the same program for 3 4 years.
Oh, smooth.
So I played with AJ when nobody even knew he was good. Like when he was like deer in the headlights, like couldn't even like control his body for real, like and like then it was like yeah, like you could tell that like he's something. He was a big, tall, long, like whatever, like but um to then play against him when he was a sophomore in high school, like it was just he you could see the work that he put in and so playing against him then and then playing against him as a sophomore, like it was competitive both ways, but definitely as a sophomore it was better just because you were able to see the growth, and then now we can really compete against each other. So that was good. That was real good.
Good.
Yeah.
Have you? Did you play him again after that, or did you play like see him again after that? Or has there been any more like progress checks on him, like against like you
He
against
was a
him?
senior his sophomore year, right? Yeah, you were a senior, so he wouldn't have played
Yeah,
against you.
my sophomore year he was a senior, so that was
No,
my
you were
last
a
year.
senior. He was
I
a
mean,
sophomore.
yeah, I was a senior. He was a sophomore. That was my
Oh,
last year that we played
yeah. See,
against each other.
that makes sense. That
But
makes
he was
sense.
still number one overall rated player in the country for all
Yeah,
grades at that point.
At that
yeah,
point,
But
he
he
was
grew. He also
unanimous.
grew 5 inches since then too, though.
Like,
Yeah.
gee, and
Because
he
you
was
look at the picture.
already.
If you look at the picture, he was like 6'5", right? Because that was like he was at the free
yeah,
throw line
six
shooting,
five,
and he
six.
had a nice little
Jeez.
spurt.
And then they had Did you ever have any run-ins with Cooper Flag? I know Cooper was in like obviously playing Nike EYBL
Brief
too.
with expressions, right?
So the first time I saw Cooper Flag, I was sophomore. I was a freshman or a sophomore. And he was playing with like one of Expression's second teams,
Mm.
just because he was from Maine, so he wasn't on like the. This was it wasn't even during EYBL season yet. We were like AAU season was just kicking off, and he was playing with like Expressions South or something like that, like one of their like second teams, and they're like, yeah, these twins on the team right here, they're nice. Cooper Flag, Ace, I think his brother's Ace Flag,
Yeah, I
something like
think so.
that. Oh yeah, like, and at that point, I never had really heard of him. I don't know if if he was ranked or anything like that yet. But he played and you could see he was nice. But after that, um, I didn't, I hadn't seen him until he kind of blew up.
Was Alex on your team the ninth grade year, or was he not in the program
Caravan?
yet? Yeah.
No, he was a year above me, so he was
What
playing
I'm
on
saying, your freshman, he was ahead of Dez.
yeah,
He was a year ahead of Dez.
Caravan.
Yeah.
He was 20,
He's 21, wasn't he? 21.
but he was playing up. He was
Oh
playing
yeah, he
up.
played
He
Alex
was playing
Caravan.
up.
Okay.
Alex
Okay.
Caravan, so he just got drafted as well.
But the exciting thing is that at practice,
Everybody
all the
plays together,
teams
though.
played ninth through 11. It was combined teams. You was just hooping. It
Yeah,
didn't matter.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like you go over there with the ninth grade. Nah, everybody was getting banged on, or you had to step your game up. Like you was playing
Yeah.
with Trey Hall and them dudes. He was like
So
you know,
that's similar
Terrence
to
Clark when he first came into the
yeah,
program.
exactly.
He was there.
Musa Cece, who's in the
Musa
NBA right
Cece.
now, like, but that's similar to a college team in the sense that you have freshmen playing against seniors, 18-year-olds playing against 22, 23-year-olds. So we were getting in there. I'm 14. I'm 14 in ninth grade. You got dudes that are 16 in ninth grade, and then you got 18-year-olds that are in 11th grade. So I'm playing against these dudes, like you said, Terrence Clark, Trey Hall, all these dudes. AJ that boss is there. He's in 7th grade. They just have him playing up. Like, so everybody's playing against everybody, and whether
That's
it's
good preparation.
3-man weave or 5-on-5, like everybody's playing with everybody. So that was good. That built, well, not built, but that allowed dudes that were younger or not as good to be thrown in the fire early.
Yeah,
And
he got thrown in too.
yeah, exactly.
That's one of the greatest
You
things
got
I
thrown
preach
in.
is going to see those guys. If you think you're good or you want to be good, you got to go see the people at the
Exactly.
next level,
That
or
level
people that
is
are better.
crazy. His junior year on that EYBL team, you got to think the whole roster was probably, with the exception of him and you, Daryl, and
Seth.
Seth, everybody else was 6'5" or better.
Yeah, me,
You talking
Daryl.
about, you had like 3 6'10s. You had
God,
it was you talking about a high school team, prep team.
Yeah.
That's
So they used to go to the airports and they would think that these dudes was like Division One
NBA.
college teams already because their roster was so big. You know?
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's it's nice to be around that. And so, actually, there's a spin-off question. How was it in practice for your development to be able to play against 6'5" dudes every day, or 6'5" and above every day? So if you have 6'5" at like some of your smalls, then you have 6'10", 6'11". So
Exactly.
how was the look?
It forced me. It was good, honestly, because it forced me to have to learn how to play against those taller players. I had to learn how to do different things in my game. I had to learn to take different shots and that I could shoot over some people that are my height, but I'm playing against 6'5". Now I got to create more space to get my shot off, or now I gotta
Maybe
try
bump
to
'em
use my
first.
speed and bump you and try to like get like a same foot, same hand lay rather than being able to do a traditional layup because they'll block that. Like we even have a clip when I was in what was that? I was in ninth grade and
Yeah. Was it Musa? Who was it?
it was Musa. It
Yeah.
was and we were doing 15s had their team, 16s had their team, 17s had their team, and it was you score, you stay on, or no. You get a stop, you stay on. You had to get 3 stops in a row or something like that. And I'm being guarded by
It was
Trey. He's like 6'7", 6'8". You got Musa in the paint who's 7 foot. You have Terrence Clark right there that's 6'7". You got all these who else is on the court? I don't even know who else is on the court, but Bensley.
Joseph
Bensley
played
was
point
a
guard at Miami.
play point guard at Miami. Like,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, oh yeah, I got to blow by one dude. Lay it to the top of the backboard. Still got pinned. I'm like, yo. I'm like, yo.
And they were yelling whether it was a goaltender or not.
Yeah, like he pinned at the top of the glass, and I'm like, I just created some space. I got it off early, and he's still blocking it. So it has forced me to have to expand my game. to where I have to create more space to get shots off and things like that.
So, can you give some advice on how to create space against 6'5", 6'10", 6'11" guys for some of the smaller guards out there?
Honestly, in terms of that, you got to use your quickness, because them knowing that they're that much taller, that much their arms are that much longer than yours, like they can play off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to use your quickness. You got to keep your feet moving so to keep them on their toes, using hezzies and things like that, so that you can create space. Because if not, they're just gonna guard you with their length, and they'll either get a good contest every time or they're gonna block it. So I think using quickness and, like you said, a bump to get them off balance, things like that, definitely helps you create space to get your shots off.
From what I watch is watching him play, especially seeing him now play at the higher levels. Right, I think at the younger ages when taller guys tend to be a little thinner,
Mm-hmm.
you can get into their body and that creates space. But now
Yeah.
these guys are, you talking about 6'8",
6'10"
but
and
they're
solid.
230, 240. You're bouncing off of them, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really give you any help to like just throw your body into him,
Mhm.
because often that would be his strength, right? He can just
Yeah.
muscle you, right? But then he get into some physical, like hit a screen or something like that, and it lets him know that he ain't as big as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
Because some of these big bodies, like that'll get you real frustrated with a teammate when you run into. He took some
Screen
nasty
that
screens
wasn't
this year, and
called.
he's the kid who's gonna fight over every screen. He doesn't go on the screens.
So all you gotta do is just call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't, like sometimes he's taking some blindside hits, and it's like hitting an offensive tackle on a football team. You know, you
Yeah.
run into that thing, and your body's not tensed up waiting for it, so
Mhm.
you just curl up into that thing.
Neck,
You know,
probably neck
So-
hurting after the game. And
Yeah.
so getting into somebody's body's not always the answer. I think what we said is you gotta change speeds. You gotta be able to use your quickness, hezzies, and then sometimes you just gotta step away and pull it up because
Yeah.
you're not gonna get a layup ball because these guys are ready and they're good being the second jumpers because they got a 6-inch advantage on you. They don't gotta jump when you jump.
Mm.
You know.
And like you said, like you can't always get into the body of somebody bigger than you, because, like you said, a lot of these older players and now college players are not just tall
Skinny.
and thin.
Mhm.
So you got to know when you can use your body, when you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and they're trying to catch up, and now you can bump them because they're already going that way. Like you got to know when you can bump, and use your body against taller players and stuff like that.
That's good. And honestly, I think that's a really good tip right there. Finding good times to bump somebody.
Yeah.
So like if you're running and you know that they can like get off balance or something because they're running, you know it's a little bit easier to knock them off balance. So then
Yeah.
that's when you bump them rather than when they're there in stationary.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
Real quick, we're gonna go into one more intermission before we wrap this up. We got a lot further than we did last time. We're gonna go into a quick intermission. All right, y'all. We're back from our final intermission. We're gonna try to ride this thing out through the rest. Again, we're here with Tayeshawn Cunningham-Pemberton and Mr. Lydell Pemberton. Everybody calls him LP. But quick question for you guys. We'll start out with jump programs because everybody wants to get more bouncy. Um, what is your favorite jump workout to do, or series of jump workouts?
So for me, we weren't even doing a whole bunch of jumping. Like we were just doing a lot of legs, like like lateral lunges with a dumbbell, like forward lunges, like going from like from knees standing up and from a squat into a jump.
Yep.
Step ups. We were doing a lot. Like
Bulgarian
he
split
knows them,
squats.
like he knows them better.
Bulgarian split squats. So we did a lot of like just really dumbbells. It wasn't so much jump training. I think we did have you start doing some jump training when you would go with Mike and get some work in the mornings.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you getting a lot of box jumps in there and stuff like that.
That's when I started squatting.
But yeah, when we were down in the basement, it was really a lot of that. Like you said, the lateral stuff, single leg stuff, a lot of isometric stuff where he was just really building quad, glute, and hip strength.
Mhm.
The one thing that I think we really didn't spend a lot of time doing is working on speed training to combine that, right? He was just bulking up and getting powerful and explosive. But two things that actually we noticed that we probably should have done more of would be speed and then just flexibility.
Yeah.
Like he was a little bit more stiff because he built so much muscle. He was a little stiff, you know, as you can see when he got on the court in that year.
Talking to the mic, please.
Yeah, when he got into the court during that year, you can see that he was a little tighter, a little stiffer with his movements, just because he had put on so much muscle. I mean, he literally put on probably about 15 pounds in just a few months. It was kind of crazy, but there was nothing else to do. So we were down there, we were regimented. It was every single day. And we had a full workout where it was just like nonstop. I got pictures of the kid when he was started and how thin he was to how he was on the other side of that. I remember when everything came back and he came out and they were like, "Yo, what did you do to this kid?"
Shoot, I was part of they.
Yeah, he looked crazy. He looked ridiculous. He was too big. Like he was just neck and shoulders. He was just huge.
I was back to that football player look.
Yeah, and like you don't really notice it as much because I was seeing it every day, and we were just putting that work in. So when he came out of that thing, I was like, "Whoa, he's bulky."
Yeah, you were able to like you were able to see yourself compared to everybody else. Like you didn't see anybody for so long. So now like coming back out, like you can see how you look compared to a lot of other people. Like I was like I was working. Like,
So how did you guys increase weight and strength? So you said he gained 20 pounds while increasing athleticism. He wasn't dunking too well before, and then he comes out windmilling, putting the ball between his legs in dunking, while increasing his weight and increasing strength.
Yeah, I think part of that is like he was 15, so he was naturally growing too. So it was a mixture of natural growth. Plus, I think like we were working legs probably 3 times a week.
3 days a week, yeah.
It was crazy. Like we were working 3 times a week, and it was like again, it was tons of reps. He was getting a lot of repetitions. Like I have pictures of his legs, him flexing. And it looks unreal. Like the how ripped he was. So I think really it was just that. Like we combined movement down in the basement, but it wasn't really about a lot of quickness stuff. It was really just about building his strength. And like I said, I think between his hips, his glutes, and his quads, he had just built so much power and explosion that his 1 foot jump was just he could get up, man. I mean, he could get up with the best of them off of just 1 foot. And I think it organically transitioned to timing, right? He had the power, he had the explosion, but then the timing was there, and he for a long time he would drag his back foot.
Yeah, my toe would drag.
So even dragging his back foot, he was still climbing. Like I was like, if you took the foot drag out, you'd be even more freakish. And I don't think we really saw it until he played in a showcase out in Providence. And he came down and he
That was-
banged on a dude. Like
Yeah.
we knew he could dunk, but he put a dude in the rim.
Like, yeah, I blew by one dude,
Yeah.
and another dude tried to come and contest.
And
I
he put him in the
fell
rim,
him.
but then a couple possessions came later.
It was like
he stole it.
It was an and one dunk. I didn't even know it was an and one too.
Yeah.
I went down the other way, and I had to come back and shoot the free throw, and then they came back down the next play.
He got
I
a steal and came down off a break.
You
and get
know, that was the joint you had on the T-shirt that day.
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
a
on the
fast
news.
break, off 1 foot windmill.
That's the first time I think I even tried that dunk too.
Yeah,
I don't
so
even
that's
think
when
I
was
had tried that
"Alright,
before.
This is different. So then I had to like calm him down a little bit because all he wanted to do was dunk.
You gonna hurt yourself
during games, layup lines, everything was a dunk. I was like, yo,
No
shoot some jump
jumpers,
shots. Like,
no layups, floaters.
during
nothing.
expressions practices, he was trying to dunk on the 6'10s. I'm like, yo, bro, you can't dunk on everybody, bro. Like he was trying to put everybody in the rim. I was like, all right, he's getting addicted to dunking now.
I like the mentality though,
and I appreciated it. I said, you gotta let your other game like come out. Can't dunk on everybody. Cause so sometimes like he miss a dunk or he tries so hard, they were like, yo, just make the layup.
Yeah,
Just make the layup. Like
we know you can dunk now. Like, we get it. Like we get it.
It was crazy because he definitely. I know it had to be a good 6 or 7 inches worth of bounce that you just gained. Like overnight. It seemed like it was quick.
I was just trying to block stuff and dunk.
Yeah.
Somebody had a fast break. I was letting them pass me a little bit.
just so
So
you
I could
could
try to
glad.
pin it. I'm like, oh yeah. Like watching it back now, it's actually funny because I didn't think I was doing that then. And he was telling me, and I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to dunk every time. Like, I don't only want to dunk. But now watching it back, I was like, yeah, I was only trying to dunk.
That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's switch over to off season real quick. The off season is so important in getting good runs in and playing against people that are better than you or at your level is going to be important for your development in the off season. Can you talk about some of the runs that you've been at this off season?
So Spence. Spence runs. Um, um, so during this off season, the only runs that I'm really going to, or that I've been going to, are Spencer summer runs. Gets a lot of high level players in there. Majority Division 1 guys, but there's definitely some Division 2, Division 3 guys that go. Some overseas players, some NBA guys. It's pretty much every weekend, multiple times a week. It's good runs. It's not like it's just ISO ball. It's I mean, once you're at that point, guys know how to play in college, so it's swing, 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 shot. There are some ISO situations here and there, but it's a lot of screen and rolls, stuff like that. So it's good run. It's not just you're out there just ISOing. You're able to really work on your game in an actual college type playing setting. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So that's great. I mean, aside from that, playing with the guys at school, I mean, we play. Right now, it's more like breakdown work with your individual position, like guards and bigs, and then we come together and we play. So I think just playing during the off season with, like you said, with guys that are at your level or above you, that one that keeps you in like your flow, so that you're not, because I mean, if you're just only working out, yeah, you can come back and yeah, you have things that you got better at, moves that you've added to your bag, but being able to put those in play in an actual atmosphere 5-on-5, like that is something that's big.
And can you just guys talk about you guys talked about this a little bit earlier about just some of the things that you could possibly like get away with and build bad habits from playing with competition that's lesser than you?
Yeah, so I think we were talking about it during the intermission. Really, just think for Tay, he got to a place where I personally I saw a separation, um, whether it be a physical skill or both. And he was starting to separate a little bit, and I realized that he had an upward trajectory, that he was gonna go do something after his middle and high school years. So I would try to encourage him to limit himself from playing with players who didn't necessarily stretch his game, or in a setting where guys didn't have his best interest, right? So when you have something to lose, you got to be smart about what you do.
Yes.
I think we were able to make that decision because he was already playing a lot of ball. He was playing a ton of ball. So it's not like he was missing out by not going to play pickup. The only thing he was missing out is that he was with his friends. Other than that, it wasn't really helping his game. And if anything, it was going to build bad habits because he could be kind of lazy and still get away with stuff because he was good enough. So it's really about making sure that you're getting something out of the run. Yeah, you can run up and down the court and you say, I got conditioning. But if you're really not having to work on certain skill sets like protecting the basketball or doing moves in traffic where you have no business doing the move just because you can get away with it, like those are things that would translate into a game because muscle memory, right? You're going to do what you do on a frequent basis. So it was almost like a treat for him to be able to go play pickup ball. At certain spots. Some places where there were older guys that I knew respected his game and they weren't going to try to like hurt him, but it was going to stretch him. Yeah, he got to play those. But other times I was like, don't even go. And I know he was going anyway. Like if I wasn't there and he took his bike and ride, he probably like, all right. I would like just go be cool, just being the guy, just stand there and shake some hands and get some what ups because most people in your community, they know if your game is grown. They know who you are. And it's not like bragging, but it's like, all right, well, we know he ain't got no business playing with us. He can get hurt out here.
Yeah.
He wasn't thinking that. He was a young dude. I'm trying to get some run. I want to go ball. I want to catch a couple dunks.
Sneaking his sneakers out the house.
Yeah. Come back, shoes all raggedy. I'm like, he's been playing. All right. But I think that's what, for me, as a parent who kind of saw the future was. It was really just be specific about where you go play at. Minimize the risk of injury. I want you to get reps, but we can do that in the gym, just getting up shots.
Yeah.
So just so that we can make sure all parents can understand where you're coming from and not try to take small parts of what you're saying.
Yeah.
When did you see and make the decision that Tay should be at certain runs and playing with certain people?
Yeah, I think when we were being taken seriously, like in the prep transition, right? He was already with expressions. So that's one thing I didn't want to risk either, right? You got sessions coming up and you got these super intense. We were driving to Boston 2 times a week for practices during the week. And then I had to he had to have no school on Friday because they had to meet at the airport at 6 in the morning because they're flying out, like that kind of stuff. So I treated it more like a business at that point. I was like, this is a business. This is your job. Your scholarship you about to get the offer for is your job. You can't risk that. So probably around 10th grade, where we started getting serious interest because the reason even we had St. George's in the conversations because the EYBL team Expressions, they would practice at different prep schools. And so coaches from those schools would be in the gyms and they'd be like, hey, none of these kids got a prep school yet or who hasn't reclassed yet. And so he got on their radar and that's how the coach came and started watching him. But it was probably around the sophomore year where I was like, all right, you got to start taking this more seriously and you got to be specific about where you go run it. And it wasn't because he was too good for everybody else. It's just that we were trying to like keep him safe, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Because you got more to lose at this point. So for him, he's just wanted to play. For me, I'm like, dude, you about to come roll your ankle and come home. And it's like I'm looking at all this stuff going down the drain. So I think it was around that time frame, sophomore year.
What did Tay do, and how did he develop in order for you to see that you guys should take this seriously and make sure like he's doing certain things? Like what did he do in order for you to see that this should be treated like a business?
Yeah, shout out to Wayne Reels. Like we played with the Grand Sachems like early on. It's funny, there's a post out now on TikTok. Somebody posted about how they used to play against the Grand Sachem back in the day, and it was crazy how they was winning by 60. But we had this really well-rounded team with a bunch of elite level 11 and 12-year-olds. And we won the AAU national championship. Right? And Tate wasn't a guard on that team. He was like a forward and he was snatching boards and he was just strong and physical. And after like his 13-year-old football year, we made a decision that he wasn't going to play. football anymore. And I told him, I said, you got to fall in love with hoop. I actually wanted him to start playing tennis for footwork reasons, but he wasn't feeling that. So that wasn't gonna work. But it was around that eighth grade year where I was like, he's different because him and Daryl grew up. They were tight, and they were both guards. And Daryl was like the guy at point. He was a true point guard. He was that dude, facilitated, he could shoot it. He was a dog. He had everything. He was just small, but as you can see now, it doesn't matter. He's one of the best point guards in the country, hands down. Um, and so Tay was always like a 3, 4, but could shoot it, right? So and the other guys on the teams were more they were more quick, shifty guys. He was more the big. So I couldn't really see the true value of his game because he was treated like a big. But it wasn't until like that seventh, eighth grade transition where he played in the power pack and he switched over to being a point guard. And I was like, all right. He actually got point guard of the year, which was surprising because Daryl was the guy. I was like, oh, he had a good year, right? And at that point, I said, all right, something's happening here. But he always played with those guys. Like, if you knew that team back then, you were like, all them dudes are going D1. Like, we just had that squad. And so for him to have that exposure with that level and we were all in the same community was just absolutely crazy. I was actually speaking to one of the kids, one of the players' moms the other day. We were texting back and forth, and she was like, imagine if they would have all stayed together all those years. We would have kept that team. We were respected by expressions back then. We used to play expressions.
Yeah.
And they used to smack everybody, but they didn't smack us. They beat us, but they were bigger, and they had a little bit more than we had. But that's how I knew. I was like, all right. And during that eighth grade year, he also got a call because Expressions was down a guard, and Expressions was like, you got a guard that we could grab for a tournament. Expressions was looking for a guard, and they actually brought Tay up to play in a tournament up in Mass. And from that day on, they were like, all right, you go to ninth grade, you got to come next year. You don't even got to try out. You'll be on the ninth grade team. So then I knew. I was like, all right, I see something happening here. He's gonna be all right in hoop. He always was strong. He was always physical. He could always rebound. But like I said, around the seventh to eighth grade, I could start to see his guard skills come out, handling the ball. He always was able to shoot the three a little bit. But you can see his court vision, and so it just started to happen, and he made a quick jump from seventh to eighth, and then credit to Chop Parker, he took a risk on him, and his freshman year he started at point guard at New London, which was crazy for us. I think it exposed a lot because I knew he was going to be a turnover monster at 14 years old running the point guard spot for a varsity team. But it also gave him a lot of experience. A lot of experience.
I was turning it over. I was definitely getting to a bucket though.
You was getting to a bucket, but you was turning it over. You was the turnover monster.
I need you to grab him, please. Sorry. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think around the eighth grade time frame is when I start to see that he really had potential. Then I had, Chop had made it clear that he planned to have him as a starter coming as a freshman for New London, which for us was like, wow, that's big, right? You think about Chris Dunn coming through and some of these great point guards, Kareem Brown, some of these guys that had played at New London. So to think that at 14 they were going to hand him the keys to be a point guard was like, wow, okay, that's a lot. But I think he handled it all. He didn't really fold under the pressure of what people thought. He just went out and played free. And we got to see it during summer league where he went and actually like killed. I was like, wow, this kid's barely 14 and he's out here like killing during summer league. So that's when I was like, all right, yeah, there's something here. There's something here. And then he had a really good freshman year. I think he had a couple 100-point scoring as a freshman, which is like
Impressive.
really, really good. He shot the three well. He got to the basket well. I think he just found his confidence.
I was just watching his freshman highlights back last night, and dog, your freshman year, you were a lot better than people think. People were I feel like a lot of people were probably like judging you just based on the new London judge. But like as
Yeah,
a
finished
freshman, bro,
product, though, that's what
you
I'm saying.
have seniors guarding you, obviously juniors
Yeah.
guarding you, and you're getting them off of you, getting to your spots, jump stopping, getting to this paint, laying it up, shooting threes, controlling the offense, keeping people off of you. Like again, everything comes with growth at the next level, but you handle your freshman year with poise, bro. You did.
It was hard for me because in my mind, I always saw you. I saw certain guys, and I was like, all right. But I was looking at you guys in your junior, senior years.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't looking at you as a freshman, so I was always like, he's a freshman. Like he don't. But as you can even see it as the season went on, the freshman season went on,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, it was growth,
Yes.
and I was like, wow, he's like, he's doing this thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, and like he said, I played freely, and I think part of that is because yeah, I played basketball for a while, but like I said, I was playing football for a while. I think football was really my number one up until then. And when you're doing something that's not like your main thing, like it's not like you don't care, but it's not
There's
as
no
much
pressure.
pressure.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was just able to play how I wanted to play. I wasn't worried about nobody. Like I was just playing. And so I think that's why I was able really like to get off. And then like he said, as the season was going on, I started to understand more. I started to run into same scenarios like a trap or like you said, like getting into the paint, starting to having to pump fake and things like that. Like and I was like, all right, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. So I was kind of just growing and learning as I was going.
Feel that. So for you, when did you realize that this dream could become a business and become reality?
So at that point, I knew I was like, all right. But when I when I really realized like, all right, this might be like something like serious, it was really like the trend, like we were just talking about the transition to St. George's, because that's how I was like, oh, like is a coach coming to watch? Oh,
continue and finish up. Almost there. What was the last thing before we
When I
leave off?
realized it was yeah. So for me, it was more of the transition at St. George's when I realized that it was gonna be something serious. Like he always talked to me as if it was a business anyway. But I really realized that when I got to St. George's, just being in the gym with the guys, some guys that have been playing basketball their whole life, and they were reclassing earlier than I was because that was their plan all along.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, being around and seeing the coaches and being around players that got all these offers already, I was like, all right, like I'm in this world now. Like this is serious. Like now, like like I could be getting all these offers too. Like so I was like, yeah, this is it. Like it's time to really like lock in. So that was when it was. It's the transition to St. George's.
Cool. And I'm glad that again you took it very serious, and again your work ethic shows and through you guys work out together. Shoot, you talking about you going out to his school to work him out sometimes
Yeah.
and if need be. So that process together, and it it shows in your bond. Just the way you guys are talking today, you guys are picking up where each other leaves off. If somebody's missing something, then you guys just pick up. Your bond shows, and it shows through basketball. It shows through the way you guys carry yourselves, and you can see like even with some of the way like you like move your hands, talking, all that
Mannerisms,
stuff,
yeah.
faces you make, your
Somebody else said that the
mannerisms,
other day. That's
just
funny.
like your dad, bro. Especially when you're explaining stuff. So it's cool and it's good to see. It's good to see what present fathers and what present parents and present households look like
Mhm.
as they start to develop. Um, so we've been here for a while now, LP. I know you got to get to practice soon. You guys got practice today. But we always end with advice for the Jits. Thank you guys for coming on today. This has been more than a pleasure. And we hope to have you guys back on again. Do you guys have any advice for athletes or parents of athletes or coaches?
For me, something I've been thinking about like as of recently, like yeah, everybody to get to a certain level, you got to be dedicated. You got to be consistent. You got to keep working, even when it doesn't seem like you don't see that there's progression and things like that. But like for example, like you were just talking about with me and him, like he's been my trainer my whole life. Like what I'm saying? Like I wasn't going to all these trainers. Yeah, I was with Kareem a little bit, and I was going to you a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
but like as long as you're working on your game, you know what you're good at, what you need to work on. You keep working. You have somebody that knows you and has your best interest. Like as long as you keep working with them, like you'll see the results, and I feel like for me that's what made me want to keep playing as I saw results. Like I'm like I'm getting better. I'm able to do this and that. Like I want to keep getting better and better. Like so just to keep working and stay consistent.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I could echo that, but I think he said it all when it comes to being a player. I would just say for parents and coaches, right? Just be the support that they need. Just recognize that the basketball game, yeah, there's a physical side to it, but there's definitely the mental side. Um, Mental health is important. There's a lot of players out there, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that I don't think about it. Like, what, think about my son. Like, when this game is over for him, like, how does he live day to day knowing that he's not playing at this level anymore and not competing, right? So I would just say, like, be there for him through the ups and downs. Continue to encourage. Don't worry. Don't don't give tough love, because they need somebody who's going to push him and hold him accountable, because when you're successful, most people are going to tell you what you want to hear because they want to feel important to you. But I think as a parent, as a coach, you need to be able to keep it real with your athlete. But more importantly, like, love on them, encourage them, stay close to them, let them know that their stumbles and falls aren't failure. They're just an opportunity to learn and grow from it. It's a long journey if you're going to do it right. We talked about it earlier. Tay's been playing for a long time, and it's a roller coaster. You have times where you're great, and you have times when you feel average. And I know for me, just seeing it, and I've given him a lot of feedback, and it wasn't always wrapped in a pretty bow and in nice wrapping paper. So it didn't feel great, but I often knew it was what he needed at the time. But then there's other times where it was just love, and it was to big him up and let him know how great he really is. But I think that constant connection, that constant communication, and just believing in them when nobody else does is important. Because when you love something and you put your all into it, it'll all just be fine as long as you continue to believe that it's the work is the work. Um, it's about process, and it's about staying on top of yourself and staying healthy. We didn't really talk about even the recovery stuff, but just making sure that they're not just playing the sport. Invest in some recovery and making sure that they're getting the healing that they need, because your body's like a machine; it's gonna wear out, and if you don't treat it as such, those are when injuries come into play. So if your kid's old enough, 13, 14, it's time to start getting serious about what the weight room looks like, and how to keep your body tuned up. And then after working out or training, that there's a recovery process, whether it's ice or whether it's an ice bath or some kind of massage or something to keep them going. But more than anything, just the support and the connection and being with them as a parent or a coach.
Feel that. For myself, if you don't have the family that you want right now, because just like LP said earlier, kids don't ask to be put into this world. So if you are in a family right now that is not too much caring to you, or you feel like you see other families that are a little bit more caring, or you feel like you want to be a part of, you don't have to shade your family. You can just try to build the family that you want. Your family and your parents probably didn't have what you're looking for in them, so they probably didn't have that in a parent as either, and they were probably working to try to do what they could as well. So just always try to give your parents grace. They do what they can to make sure that you're fed, clothed, and sheltered, and getting nice stuff that you want. But sometimes us as kids don't realize that some of the things that we want and ask for so bad, they like knock heads with us in the time that we get to spend with our parents. So we want as much time in the world with our parents, but at the same time, we want all the presents and the gifts and stuff as well. So let's just make sure we're giving our parents some grace. And if you don't have the family you think you want, then try to build the family that you want, and don't try to tear your family down. Thank you, LP and Tay, for coming on today, y'all. This has been a great session for the community, for the kids to be able to see life isn't easy. Even when you're achieving your goals, you're gonna be hit with brick walls. You're gonna be hit with stones while you're going down your path, but it's never gonna be easy. And then you've obviously showed that. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for help elaborating on the story, LP, because there's always parts that we miss while we're going through life, and somebody who's helping us through life can help in just chime in on the parts that were important to us that sometimes we didn't even realize.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you guys for coming on, and hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Good luck to both of you guys in your endeavors. Tayshawn, you're going into your next year at you're going into your first year at Quinnipiac, but your next year in college basketball. And LP, your strength and conditioning for the school, coaching football for the school, and then your admin for the high school as well. I hope you have a restful summer. It's hard to be restful when you have a coach like Jack Cochran that you're under, but
Hey, man,
it's always in good service.
I'm not mad about it. Mhm.
It's always in good interest. Do you guys have any final words before we get out of here?
Thank you just for having me on.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on, Syndicate. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Also, want to just say that we'll be seeing more of Tay in the community. Really, kind of like putting yourself out there a little bit more to kind of help our youth be more connected. And then also shout out to Darnell Williams and today's Youth Tomorrow's Future.
Yeah.
Just big things going on, and I'm looking forward to what the community's got going on over the next couple of years.
Genuinely, yeah. I definitely want to make sure we keep highlighting and try to keep bringing the community together, having guys like you guys come back and just keep pouring into the community that you guys were raised in and that you guys were held down, and it helps. It helps
Appreciate you.
seeing common faces and faces that are going to be connected. But again, thank you guys. This is Syndicate Nation Significant Situations. We'll see you guys next time. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you to everybody that does. We'll see you next time, guys.